Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. It is just like 10 days away from the last day of October, which is Samhain here in the Northern Hemisphere. And I am going to be doing some Samhain readings. So I'm going to be using, oh my gosh, so many things. We're going to be using Witches runes. We're going to be using the Everyday Witch Oracle. We're going to be using Willow runes. We're going to be using the Gentle Creatures Wisdom deck and the Wildwood Tarot. And we're going to be using the Amethyst runes and the Froud Faerie Oracle and the Forest Fae Oracle, because there's a lot of ground to cover with Samhain. Why am I doing it now and not next week? Well, here's why. Because next week is my only chance to do the November readings in advance enough for you to prepare. So that is the plan. So in order to facilitate the Samhain readings, I have gathered, I went literally outside at like an hour before. There's a bug on one of these. Look at it. This is how you know it's real wild leaves. I'll clear the bug away. So there are 4 leaves that are literally from outside right now that I picked up. So it's going to be pick a leaf. So do you like leaf number 1, leaf number 2, which won't have a bug on it when I'm doing the reading, leaf number 3, and leaf number 4. Feel into the leaves. Which one of these has an extensive Samhain reading for you? I will put the timestamps in the description, and I will see you at the readings. Bye! Hello to all of you who chose leaf number 1. I'm going to just put it here because it's other leaves. And we're going to start with, the first thing we're going to address is Samhain is the end of a year. Like, it's the end of a cycle of time, and after this, like, the harvest is over and we're going into the winter. So we're going down into like underworld status, we're turning inward, all of that kind of thing. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm drawing a card from the Everyday Witch Oracle to ask, what is this going to be like for us when we go into this? And if you're in the Southern Hemisphere and you're going into Beltane, this is also a change for you. So it's basically shifting ground. It's going to be a different kind of thing, what you're going into. So what is it that you're going into, whatever hemisphere you're in? So what is it that you're going into with this new season? Affirmation for acceptance. So your focus, at least at the beginning, is going to be about working on acceptance, perhaps not only of the things around you that will help you to harmonize with them, but also just of yourself. Harmonize with acceptance of who you are. So let's get some witches runes down and see if we can. I love her fuzzy dice. Get some clarity on this. Oops. Witches runes, I'm not reading the reversals on. I'm just reading the rune. Okay. So central issue here is it's something that you're going to be actively working towards. You're going to be basically making the choice and moving forward in a yang kind of way to do this. Where you're sort of, it's almost like because this is a female witch and this is like male, we've got like an acceptance of all parts of yourself as well, but also just an active choice to do this. Leading up, you've just actually completed the season. So we are, no matter what hemisphere we're in, we're completing the season sort of the way that it was. After this day, it's going to feel like it's new ground. So we're leading up to that, like leading up with that, and then we're like, okay, I want to be more whole, I want to be complete. What is going to help you with that? We have the scythe. So the scythe is like swift change, possibly being aware of where there is danger, and also being aware of, because this is in the helping line, so normally this is a fairly negative rune as far as what it represents. So, because usually it's like a swift change that you need to heal from. But I think, if anything, it's you're working on healing from the swift change, and also just basically addressing that. Like, so paying attention to what might be dangerous for you, but also working on healing from what this was, because maybe you went through this and maybe that happened while you were harvesting. And now you need to heal from it. So working on healing is what's going to help you integrate and help you to move forward into the new world, the new ground. What isn't going to help is you may be looking for guidance. You may be worried about guidance. I think you have the guidance that you need already in terms of within. Sorry, it's the star. So it does have to do with guidance. It also has to do with wishes. So you may sort of be despairing of which wishes, but basically what you're doing right now is you're working on healing. So get that done first and work on integration, and this will help you be able to see. Ultimately, the outcome is the eye rune, so it's basically helping yourself to be more aware and be more able to see what's going on, and also to feel more comfortable being seen. So next, the next thing we're going to read is it's Samhain, so it's the thinning of the veils. So we have messages from ancestors. So let's get the Wildwood Tarot out, and we're going to get some messages from the ancestors for you. So I'm going to pull a card of this. I'm going to do a quick splash of the Willow runes on it, and then we're going to end with a gentle creatures thing. So the Woodward. So basically, I think this is really a reminder that you are being that you're being watched over. So the message from ancestors first off is we're watching over you. I'm just basically being honoring the card itself. So let's get some clarity with the Willow runes. Move that over here. So this is your message from ancestor. So your central issue here, as far as the message goes, is maybe you don't feel as strong as you would like to, but you are also deeply strong inwardly. It's Uruz, it's the wild ox, it's strength and health and stubbornness, and sometimes, but reversed, it's inner strength. And so it's saying maybe you don't feel as strong as you would like to, but you are also very strong inwardly. Leading up to this, maybe there was some concern about how you fit in the world. So, because we have Manaz, which is the rune of humanity, and your part in it. So you're basically like, I don't know if I'm strong enough. But yes, they're saying that you have the inner strength that you need for this. What is going to help you is have a plan. Basically, this is Gabo. It's the rune of the gift. It's always an exchange. So it's agreements, decisions, plans, and goals. Message I would read as just basically, if you're not sure, start making plans. Like make a plan. Like set yourself some goals. What won't help is you're a little bit worried about how long things are going to take. That might drag you down. You may feel a little bit impatient, and that maybe it's taking too long. There's also an element of, as far as ancestor is concerned, this concern that you're not able to move between worlds, that you know, it's easy for ancestor to say these things, but if that starts to be the case, just bring yourself back up. A really good advice is to just make plans, like have your plans, set some goals, and that they are ultimately watching over you from where they are. What this is going to lead you to is more even temper. We have Lagu's reversed, which is the rune of water. It's emotion, intuition, and heart. It's reversed, so I'm going to read this as like inner flow, but also if it's upright and it's upheavally emotions, I'm seeing this more as we're just not having the upheavally emotions because we have made some plans and we're feeling a lot more comfortable with our inner strength. So I'm going to top this part off with a card from the Gentle Creatures Wisdom deck as the summation of the message from Ancestor for you. And let's see. Conjurer, you can do this. Like, so once you get on top of that, once you've made some plans and you're on top of the surging emotions, you'll feel like you can do anything. You can make anything happen, is what they're saying to you. That is lovely. So the final part of this reading that I am doing is on Samhain, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, on Samhain, once you've cleared the field, or you do the best you can to clear the field before the end of the day on Samhain. But if you haven't and it's sunset, you leave whatever's left in the field for the fairies. That's theirs. You don't take it at that point. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see which fairy it is. What fairies are likely to be cleaning up your harvest once you've taken everything you can take in. Undressing of a salad, so that's funny. So I'm seeing this more as whatever you can get in on before sunset on Samhain is great. And whatever else is left, it's just going to be like a free-for-all. It's going to be, there's going to be something there for all the fairies, and they're all going to come in and be happy to take what you have left, which is great. Just turning this a little bit so that it's a little more straight. So I'm going to get some clarity on that with the Amethyst runes. Okay. Oop. The amethyst runes are a little bit wiggly because they are actual stones that have been tumbled and they wiggle. So what they want to say is, what the fairies want to say is, we're just basically, using what we have to control what we can, and we're making out of what we have what we need. We have Ingvaz, which is active creation. Leading up to this, they're feeling the chill in the air. It's starting to slow down. Things are starting to become like ice. We have Isa, at least in the northern hemisphere. Either way, if you're in the southern hemisphere, then it's like things are sort of slowing. So they are going to use what you've left behind to make what they need. What is going to help is seize the day. Basically, we have Tivaz, Tears Runes, the warrior god. It's also just basically tending to duties and responsibilities. Make sure that you're doing what you need to do, but also seize the day. Like basically, use the time you have. What isn't going to help is there's a feeling of chaos. Things are like up in the air and out of your control. If that starts to be the case, this is even more reason for you to get up and just do what you need to do. Make sure you're tending to your duties and responsibilities, and also doing what you can do while you have time to do it, which is great. Like just basically using the time you have. And what this is going to lead you to is like your ancestors said, even greater inner strength. You'll be even more confident with yourself, that you'll be able to do what you need to do and have what you need to have and work with what you have to get what you need, just like they do. Final message from the fairies. Having done that, from the soothsayer. Travel the road seldom taken. We have a new ground. Now that Samhain is coming, once Samhain has happened and everything is shifted, you can basically you have a choice to make some new steps. So the message from Faerie in this case is from the soothsayer, which is to travel the road seldom taken. Maybe this is your opportunity now that the ground is new, now that the world is new. To move forward in a way that you haven't yet, and maybe you were a bit shy to do it, but you know that you can control, that you can work with what you have to do what you need to do. So knowing that and being very aware of your inner strength, and that you can do anything, that you can make anything happen that you want to, pretty much, based on all this, you can take that road that you weren't expecting to take, and that will be very exciting for you. So that, leaf number 1, people, is your Samhain reading. I wish you a joyous Samhain, or a joyous Bealtaine or Beltane if you are in the southern hemisphere, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, leaf number 2 people. Welcome to this reading. So as you can see, the bug is no longer with us. Well, he's probably with us in the world. I just basically shook him out onto the windowsill where there's a hole, and so I'm sure he is outside, or she, making the most of this autumn day. So I'm going to put the leaf here because of all the other leaves. And we're going to start with Samhain is like new ground. Or if you're in the southern hemisphere, it's Bealtaine or Beltane. It's going to have a different feel after the day. Things are going to feel different. So as you move into this new ground, what is it that you need to know? We have the Everyday Witch Oracle, and we're going to put a card down from that. And we're going to see what message you have for that. And it's learn from life. So just basically keep your eyes open. Enjoy learning from what there is around you. Let's get some runes down of the witch's runes to clarify that. It's a good opportunity to open your eyes and in the new ground and see what there is to learn from. Again, you've got the harvest. This is the second one in a row. The harvest rune has been what we've led up to. So it works out really well because, of course, we've just passed this season. We've just ended it. We're ending a kind of a season and going into that. I'm not doing reversals on the witch's runes, so I'm just going to turn them if they go in upside down. Okay, so number 1, be guided. Let yourself be guided. Central issue is the star. Or is that the sun? Uh-oh. It's the sun. Oh man, I'm gonna have to put a note for the first one because I read that as a star. But anyway, it's the sun. But anyway, it's the sun. So it's very positive. Moving into the new season, feeling very positive about things, and leading up to this, we're just closing out a season of things. So we're good. Things are very positive. You're feeling very active, and again, we have. The male rune, I want to say Tivaz because it's Tivaz on top, so it's very yang. You're going to be taking a very yang approach to things. You're like, okay, what can I learn? What can I learn? It's not going to be so much, it's going to be an active learning. You're being warned against just passive learning. Go get out there, talk to people, do the learning that you need to do. Even though learning is a taking in thing, you're going to be very active about it, and it's going to be things are going to be illuminated for you. What this is going to lead you to is the ability to better handle those sudden changes that you may feel the need to heal from. And you may also be able to start taking steps to heal from changes that have caused you harm and that you need to heal from. So that's the first part. The second part of the reading is ancestors. The veil is thinning, and it's the time of year where the veil is thin. And we are going to get a message from ancestors, from Ancestor, in Ancestor General. What do they want you to know about moving into this new time and this new ground? Let's see. So we have the stag, so that's great. Oop, I can hardly see. So it's sort of like a shaman. They're basically telling you to be aware and be awake for things as far as just be aware of what's being presented to you. Ugh, I am getting the runes out. I've got such a pile of things. Like if you could see, like just here, there is a huge pile of cards and runes. So let's get some clarity from Ancestor, from the Willow runes. Okay, so yes, to be patient with things. Just quickly going to check something. Aren't we glad that bug has been set free? Because I felt really bad about that. No, like I seriously did, because I had to go over and like free the bug. Okay. Okay, so one of the things about the Wildwood Tarot is it's basically tarot, but it's a little bit different. So like 8 would normally be strength, but it's basically that you are strong. However, there is a shamanic aspect to this where you're basically going to be connected with other elements of like other levels of existence. So, yes, be patient is one of the main things. Like, take things step by step is one of the messages they're giving you. Leading up to this, maybe you haven't felt as strong as you would like to, or maybe you've had to rely on your inner strength more than you are used to. So what Ancestor is saying is be patient. You do have this strength, and take things step by step. What is going to help? Weirdly, this is the same rune that fell in this spot in the previous reading, which is Gabo. Gabo's the rune of the gift. This is always an exchange. And this has to do with making agreements, decisions, goals, and plans. So have that. And actually, another thing that it means is one-on-one communications. So if that's relevant to you, make sure you're having that. But mainly, it's like while you're taking this step by step and being trying to be very patient with your path, have a goal, have plans. Have made decisions about moving forward the way that you want to. What isn't going to help is we have Lagus. Lagus is the rune of water, so it's emotion, intuition, and heart and flow. Along with the fact that it's a step-by-step process and it's something that you do need to be patient with, you are worried about the fact that it doesn't seem to be flowing as quickly as you'd like it to. As well, there may be emotional upheaval happening, which may make things a bit difficult for you to stay patient. Once again, have made decisions, have made agreements, have made plans, and have made goals, and that's going to help you. And what this is ultimately going to help you do is pretty much any challenge that comes at you, even ones that seem impossible, you will be more ready to face. So to top off the message from Ancestor, I'm going to throw down one more oracle card, and this is from the Gentle Creatures Wisdom deck. Let's see what Ancestor wants to top off that reading with. Heard. They do hear you. They hear you. They know what you are saying, and they know what you're going through. You are heard. So to comfort you with that, that's definitely the case. So the last thing I'm going to do for this reading set is on Samhain. It's not the same for Bealtaine, although it may be. I don't know for sure what it is for Beltane. It there may be a similar thing for that. It's either way. It's like a thinning of the veils kind of thing. In the Northern Hemisphere, there is this situation where on sunset on that day, anything that's left over in the field, you don't harvest it because that belongs to the fairies. You just leave it for them. That's theirs. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see what fairies are coming to pick up your leftover harvest. And that's a collective of pixies. So that's good. Leave them to it. But they also have a message for you. So let's get the Amethyst runes out and see what message they have for you as they are gathering your leftover harvest. Whatever you couldn't make use of or you didn't have time to make use of, they're going to help clean this up. And so we are going to get some runes down on that. Harvest. The focus is on the harvest, and you made a good beginning. Leading up to that, the harvest and also time, the focus is on using the time and also the harvest. So you made a very good beginning this year with that. Let's just get that. That's the second time that's shown up in that one this session as well. That's quite neat. Oh, and there's Ivaz again. Neat. Central issue is the harvest and also time. So their message is thank you for the harvest, and also celebrate the fact that you have just had a harvest, and also your place in time, and also your use of time, and this is the time. Leading up to this, we have Berkana. Berkana is the rune of beginnings and birth. They're saying you've made a good beginning. So whatever you accomplished this year was a very good start. What is going to help you is feeling belonging, feeling your sense of belonging, your part in the great song. Just remember who you are, remember what you bring to the world, and just even if it's just you existing is essential for bringing that to the world, and that's just a really important thing. Just remember who you are in the world and your part in humanity. What won't help is we have Hagalaz. Hagalaz is the hailstorm. It has to do with things that are out of your control. It's chaos. This is something that could always drag you down. You're always worried about that. But if that starts to be the case, just remember you are you. Nobody else is you, and who you are is essential in the world. So that should help you feel better. And once again, we have Ivaz. There's Ivaz there and Ivaz there. This is going to help you with the step-by-step. Just remembering who you are is going to help you with your step-by-step patience process that you are doing. So I'm going to top this off with a final message from the Fae. Having gathered your leftover harvest, what do they have to say to you? That one jumped out. Walker on the wind, the raven shows the way. Be courageous. Change and chance can bring exciting wonders. So they are basically saying that even if we have storms and things that are out of your control, be courageous, because wonders can come from that. So those are your Samhain readings, leaf number 2 people. I wish you a lovely Samhain or a lovely Bealtaine or Beltane, whichever it is that you celebrate at this time of year. And I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, leaf number 3 people. So I'm going to put this leaf up here because it's just a bunch of leaves. And we're going to start these Samhain readings or Beltane readings or Bealtaine readings, wherever you happen to be this time of year. We're going to start with, because this is a shift, the day after this, the day after that day is always, it always feels very, very different in the world. It's like a new world. So we're going to start with the Everyday Witch Oracle, and we're going to see what it's going to be like for you when we have this shift and going into this shift, and what sorts of way forwards you're going to have. Meditation for clarity. So this is going to be a good time for you to really focus on letting the clarity come in. That's going to help a lot. So let's get some witches runes down on the witches card. And we have, and this is something you're going to do actively. So we have the yang rune, the male rune, and also I'm not doing reversals. So I probably should practice reversals on this, although I haven't seen reversals being referred to. I'm sure they're readable. That's the star. First reading I read the sun is the star, so I'm going to have to make a note, but that's okay. So it's going to be something you're going to be actively taking steps to do. Maybe set yourself a time to do this, where you're going to be meditating on clarity and meditating on letting clarity come in for you. Leading up to this, and maybe this happened as part of the harvest that you've just been through, or maybe this has happened part of the time that you've just been through, but there were some sudden changes that you feel you need to heal from. So this is another really good reason to just meditate for clarity and try to get the clarity to come in and just be still and let that happen. What is going to help you is looking at what you have obtained, what you have brought through, the harvest that you have had. It's the harvest rune. So it's basically, it hasn't all been a loss. Yes, I need to heal from some things, but look what I have brought through. Look what I have accomplished in this time. So just remembering that will help you keep your hope up. What isn't going to help is things are still mysterious. There are things that you're not sure that you understand yet, that you haven't really seen. You're not sure how to interpret them. They're very dreamlike. Oops. And they are just things that are, you're sort of, and there's also an element of you're wondering about nurturing and where the nurturing is going to come in. Those are elements that have to do with the rune, with the moon rune, the loon rune moon. But if that starts to be the case, bring yourself back up to just remembering what you have accomplished. Remember what you have brought through, and that's definitely important. What this is going to lead you to is a feeling of, okay, I'm going to let myself be guided. I'm going to let myself have the way shown. And that could be your higher self showing you that, or just the clarity that's coming through. But once that starts to come through, then you're going to be able to see your way. And you can actually even start to make wishes again, which is very exciting. So the second part of this reading set that I'm doing is messages from ancestors, because the veil is thinning at this time of year, and we want to pay honor to, but also listen to messages from ancestor. I think this deck is just like all messed up, which is good for shuffling, but I think some are upside down, some are right side up, and I'm not doing reversals. So message from ancestor for the leaf number 3 people. The green man. Okay. This is basically the emperor, but it's got that extra nuance from the Wildwood tarot. There's a stability, but it has to do with natural stability, like nature. Ancestors telling you, it's like nature may feel, and like the way things are may feel wild and out of your control, but there's still a very real stability to it. And you can still use your will within it and express that. So let's get some willow runes down and see if we can clarify this. That's blank. Oh, look, it's Cernunnos on the cauldron. We love Cernunnos. Okay, so central issue here is we have Laguz reversed. Laguz is the rune of the water. It has to do with flow, but also emotion, intuition, and heart. So I'm going to read this a couple ways. One, You may be worried that things aren't flowing the way that you want them to. Two, you may be feeling some unpleasant emotions happening, or you may be feeling like you should be feeling something and you're not. Or your focus is getting on top of some unpleasant emotions that you're having, so you don't have to deal with them in terms of where they're not making you feel swayed. Leading up to this, you may have felt like turning away from humanity for a bit. I mean, basically listening to your own drummer, but also maybe they have disappointed you. Maybe you have found they're not looking at you with joy, that they're not reflecting joy back to you, but maybe that's because you're not giving joy out because you've got the unpleasant emotions happening. But it's just sort of, you're feeling a bit uneasy with your part in humanity. So we're addressing this, and I think a lot of it's coming down to the unpleasant emotions and the feeling that things aren't flowing. What Ancestor is saying is just be open. Whatever the divine is for you, connect to that, because that's definitely going to help. Whether that's nature, whether that's higher self, whether that's a deity, whether that's guides, whatever the divine is for you is going to help. But definitely just to stay open, try to keep an open mind of what's going on. That's going to help you. I think you already are doing that. What isn't going to help you is don't give up. Don't stop moving forward. We have Ava's the horse. The horse is movement in spirit. It's reversed on the lower line. So do not stop moving forward. Bring yourself back up to where you're just going to stay open. Try to connect with your deep inner heart also. That's the main message of Vlaga's reversed in general. And what this is going to help you with is, once you've started to do this, any challenge that comes at you, we have Thursday's reversed, that's like an impossible challenge. Even an impossible challenge is going to feel like something you can face because you have made these connections, because you're connecting with your deep inner heart, and because you're connecting with whatever the divine is for you, and because you're staying open. And the ancestors are giving you a certain stability that you maybe didn't realize you had. I'm going to top off the ancestor message with a card from the Gentle Creatures deck. This is sort of like their summation message for you. Ancestor, what is final message on this? Guardian. So they are there for you. They are absolutely watching over you in ways that are subtle, but they definitely are there for you. So the final bit that I'm doing for this reading set is on Samhain, probably in Beltane as well, but specifically on Samhain. When the harvest was being cleared, everything that was in the field after sunset was left. That belonged to the fairies. You didn't pick that up. That actually had to be left for the fairies. And so, first of all, what fairies are there that are coming to get this? Well, you got a really good one. Solus is sort of a sun spirit, a solar spirit fairy that is coming in to clean that up. So that's very, very beautiful. So what message does Solus have for you? I mean, Solus also has the same sound as Solus, Solus, which is like peace and calm. So reminding you that you have the ability to use what you have to make whatever you need to. It's Ingvaz, so it's active creation. Leading up to this, you've really kind of rushed into this. Like, you've rushed up to this point. There was a lot of rushing around. We have Avaz again, which is the horse. Its movement is rushing around. Now you're leaving your leavings in the field. It's okay. The sun says it's okay. The sun fairies and the sun spirits and all the good, illuminating, great energy beings that are coming to pick up the rest of your harvest. What is going to help you the most is connect to heart. Let your heart lead you. We have Lagus, which is the rune of flow. It's water. I think we just talked about Lagus. But it's emotion, intuition, and heart, and it's absolutely upright on the upper runes. So connect with heart. Heart is going to help you get there, wherever you need to be. If you're not sure how to work with what you have to create what you need, just connect with heart. Heart is going to guide you. What isn't going to help is we have Nauthiz. Nauthiz is the rune of need. So you may feel like you have more needs than you can satisfy. In this case, and your whole focus is basically using what you have to make what you need. Once again, let your heart guide you. Go with the flow. Feel, really feel what's going on, and ultimately, this is going to lead to great happiness for you. We have Vunyo, which is the rune of joy. Final message from the Faerie after they have cleared up your harvest. We're going to the Fae Forest Oracle deck. What is the final message from the Faerie? The Spirit Familiar. Seek loving connections and cherish friendships. This is the time. Whatever hemisphere you're in, this is the time. You know, we've shifted into new ground. Make sure that you are seeking loving connections. That's really important. You know, there's a lot, and also I think this is mentioning, you know, Spirit Familiar. There is companionship for you, even if you can't see it. This is going on, and they're very grateful for your leftover harvest. So that, leaf number 3, people, is your Samhain reading. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a joyous Samhain or Beltane, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, leaf number 4, people. This is like, oh, Canada. It's the most Canadian leaf of the bunch. I'm going to put the leaf up here for leaf number 4, people, and we're going to start. So first of all, whether this is Samhain for you or Beltane for you, it's a real shift in the way the world feels the day after. It just feels very, very different. So the first part of this reading is going to be about how it's going to be for you going into this new vibe. And we're going to use the Everyday Witch Oracle, and we have Sun and Stars. So one of the things that's going to really help you going into this new vibrational feel is really just connecting with the things that are bigger than you. Whether this is just the, you know, the NOR, the non-ordinary reality, or just basically nature, including space and the natural things like the sun and the stars, or maybe this is a more mystical take on that and your connections to that. Let's get some witches runes down and get some clarity on this. I love the kitties in this deck, and also the dogs sometimes. So the pets are wonderful. The artwork is wonderful in this deck. I recommend this deck. It's beautiful. Okay, well, we have the star. I feel terrible because the first reading in this set, I saw the sun and I thought it was the star, and I read it as the star, but I'm thinking about it now and it actually worked really well. Like, I probably would have read it fairly similarly, but I'll still make a note because I love you all. So what's going to help you the most is, well, what your focus is on is being guided. As you go into this new ground, you're going to be seeking some guidance. You're also going to be working on some wishes, which is always a good thing to do. Leading up to this, things have moved very quickly for you. We have the birds or flight, and this is basically, I mean, there's a lot of communication, but I'm seeing like things, this is like quick movement, like moving into this state where you're basically, okay, now it's just me and the stars, and you're letting yourself be guided, and you're letting yourself devise some wishes for witches if you're a witch. Otherwise, just some wishes. What is going to help you here is you're going to feel very clear-eyed. You're going to be able to see very clearly about things, and also just opening up and letting yourself be aware of the things that are going on. Also being seen. There may be a sense of feeling seen that you perhaps hadn't noticed before or hadn't acknowledged before, and now this is also helping you. What isn't helping is there's still a lot that is in the mist. There's a lot that's still clouded that you're not sure about, that's not just mysterious, but you like really things that are like misunderstandings and things that you're just really not sure and that you can't be sure about just yet. So just what's going to help you once again is, if that starts to be the case, just bring yourself back up to where you're seeing what you can. Like, see whatever you can see. Trust that you are being seen, and also just let yourself be aware of what's going on. And what this is going to lead you to is a more passive yin way of taking in things. Like, you're going to be allowing the guidance that's coming through. You're going to be allowing the beauty to come through from when you look up at nature or out at nature or up at the sky. And that's really going to help you as well moving into this new ground. So the next part of this reading is the thinning of the veils, and we have messages from Ancestor. So let's start with a card from the Wildwood Tarot and start our message from Ancestor at this time. So what does Ancestor, or what do the Ancestors want you to know? The Archer. Okay. This is, if I'm not mistaken, the equivalent of the Chariot card. just quickly confirm. Yeah, it is. It is. I'm smarter than I thought I was. So basically, it's triumph of will in difficult circumstances. So ancestors is saying that you are able to direct your will in such a way that even if things are tricky and difficult, and even if you feel like you're trying to wrangle two rangy doggies as they're in the picture, you're able to do this. Your will is strong enough that you're able to actually make that happen. So let's get some Willow runes down and see what clarity they can add. You've just been through a heck of a challenge as well. Like the end of this season is also, that we're just going to, was a big challenge for you. Blank rune. So central issue is you are actually focusing on the harvest and also time. So you want to use your time well to bring through what you can, whatever you need to, and whatever you can bring through, definitely you want to be doing that, and that's your focus. Leading up to this, your ancestors know that you've just been through a challenge. It wasn't a super, super hard challenge, but they acknowledge that this was a real challenge. And this is why the archer comes up. They're like, you got through this. Don't forget that you got through this, because this is really important. This is something that you weren't sure about, and yet you were able to have this triumph of will when things were so difficult. What is going to help you here is we have Hagalaz. Hagalaz is the rune of the hailstorm. This has to do with chaos, things that are out of your control, but also natural forces, natural energies. And really, once again, this is recalling you to the fact that you've just gotten through something that was very difficult and felt like it was out of your control. But it was, and reminding you that you are a force of nature also, and you are part of all that. And that's going to help you moving forward whenever you deal with things like this, that you are capable of this. What isn't going to help you is we have Berkana reversed. Berkana is the rune of beginnings and birth. It's in the lower line. So it's sort of a warning. It's like, don't hesitate in beginning something new that you want to begin. Yes, things are going to feel like they're out of your control to a certain extent, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a dance. It's like, whenever you start a project like creatively, you can have a plan, but if you're not allowing for the magic to happen while you're doing this project, that things that are maybe not in your plan, then that is not going to be a living thing the way that it ought to be with the spirit of it. So if you're hesitant, don't worry, you don't have to hesitate. You are the storm. So get out there, make your start, use the time you have, create what you can, bring through what you can. And what this is going to lead you to is a greater sense of openness, a greater sense of connection to the divine, whatever the divine is for you. And we're going to round that out with one more card, and this is from the Gentle Creatures Wisdom deck, which is, in summation, what do the ancestors want to tell you? One final message for this reading, because they never really stop giving you messages, but here's the fun. Take that risk. Take that risk. Exactly what the reading just said. Like, don't worry about it. You are also a force of nature, so take that risk. If there's a thing that you have been wanting to do and wanting to start, but you've been hesitating, now is the time. Take it. Do it. You can do it. They believe in you. So the final part of this reading that I'm doing is in Samhain, probably in Beltane to a certain extent for something, but I know that definitely in Samhain where it has to do with harvest. On sunset on the day, anything that was left in the field, you left for the fairies. You didn't pick that. You didn't take that away. And that was for them. So let's see, first of all, what fairies are out there picking up your leftover harvest. And we have the Glanconer. He looks effortless and a bit opportunistic, but also wise. And we're going to get a message from him, from the Amethyst runes. So let's get that. What is the message from Faerie upon receipt of your leftover harvest? Oop, that's rolling around. Okay. You have inner strength. You may feel like you don't have the strength that you need for things, but you have vast reservoirs of inner strength. Communication is going to help you. Communication is key, whether this is communication with other people or just manifestation of things that you're expressing, so something that you're creating. Leading up to this, you have done what you could. You have been very creative. You've been very actively working with what you have to control what you can and to create what you can. So hence your harvest. Your harvest happened, and so they were able to take part in that. Your central issue here is definitely your inner strength, and also to sort of release a certain amount of stubbornness. Maybe there were some things that you were digging in with, which is perhaps what was preventing you from taking the risk that you want to take. But take it, because the ancestors are saying no, definitely this is the time. So basically, you're worried about lifting up from digging in and surrendering to that. Like that thing that you're letting yourself do, that you want to do, the risk you want to take, because you have the inner strength that you need. Express, create, communicate, that's going to help you the most. What isn't going to help is just like this, not beginning, not having your journey is not going to help. You'll always wonder otherwise with the journey rune reversed. So definitely take that risk. Express, say what you need to say, rely on that inner strength that you have, because you have it. And what this is going to lead you to is more great harvests in the future, also great usages of your time, and great abundance. So what's the final message from the fairies? We have the Forest Fae deck, and we're going to get one final message on top of all of that as a thank you for your leftover harvest. And we have keep going. Trust in yourself. You have all you need. This has been an incredibly consistent reading set. So I'm really happy about this. But they're absolutely, everything is telling you, absolutely go for it. You have what you need in order to do this. Connect with what you need to connect with, but definitely hesitation is not going to be, it's only going to make you feel like you wonder what would happen if you didn't. So definitely, everybody's saying, do what you need to do. Do what you feel like you need to do. Trust in yourself. So there you go. Leaf number 4, people. I wish you all the best I wish you a lovely Samhain and a lovely Beltane if this is Beltane for you. But a joyous Samhain, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.